Hello, this is Mike from Shimino's Workshop. Today I'll be reviewing our latest commission, which is a SaberForge Guardian. This is a Proffie NeoPixel Blade Plug install with a handful of fonts. Client wanted a specific set of fonts with some backing tracks. So let's go over what we did. So this was an extra red gnarled button that I was able to acquire and use, as opposed to the one that's included by SaberForge, which was black, I believe. Obviously we have oh, I can't even think what that's called. But we have a recharge port with a kill key. We've added an auxiliary button, and we have RogueArsenal blade plug, 1-inch blade plug that has NeoPixels inside. When we purchased the Guardian from SaberForge, we opted for the do-it-yourself electronic option, which they then included a chassis. They included the blade plug, which actually would probably work pretty nice with the shine through. They included buttons. They included a kill key, branded SaberForge kill key, which doesn't actually fit. So, the point is they included a bunch of things that we were hoping would work in this chassis, and it doesn't. The chassis was too large. The speaker, they included a nice 28-inch speaker, comparable to a TCSS WOW speaker. Doesn't fit. And they included, two buttons, or I'm sorry, they included one button, the recharge port, which I did make use of. So just a shame though. So we had to go and 3D print up our own chassis. Not too bad. We had to downgrade to a 24-inch speaker, which quite honestly sounds plenty loud. So I shouldn't even say that's a downgrade, but and then as you can see, we got Proffie in there. Let's see. So I'm going to put the speaker back on here. I'm sorry, the emitter. I'm going to put the pommel cap back on. So let's fire her up. So the first thing, we'll pull the kill key. And we'll navigate through, so we'll use the auxiliary button here to navigate through the fonts.
I'm a Jedi. Smooth Jedi. Feel, don't think. Use your instincts.
Okay, so the first font, which we just heard here, is the Qui-Gon font. This is TheLight, so it's a smooth swing based font. I believe this is a K-Sith font called TheLight. And then I just added the Qui-Gon quotes, thank you Shamim, from his boot package 2. And then added a Duel of Fates backing track. So about a 1-second press on the power button. That'll start Duel of the Fates. And then we can ignite. You can see our shine through. Okay. So again, one second press to turn the backing track on, 1 second press to turn it off. Flash on clash, hold down the auxiliary, and then a short press to activate, short press to deactivate. The next font.
Someday I will be the most powerful Jedi ever.
This was also a custom request. This is Angsty, Angry. I forget what it's called, but it's just a Shamim font on Saber font, and we've added. The client liked on the hum. You can hear Qui-Gon saying Anakin, no. So the client wanted that, and the Qui-Gon quote is embedded inside of the hum. So no smooth swing on this font. This really is a Plector-based font, but works fine in Proffie. But we lose smooth swing, and we added the funeral music for the end of Phantom Menace. So let's hear that. And we can activate. Same green blade effect. Okay. And if I'll activate it so we can hear the Qui-Gon quote. Takes several seconds. Okay. The last font,
Smooth Jedi.
I put this on all my Proffie installs. When we have a blade, and I don't have any 1-inch blades on me, but if we have a blade and we activate this font, it includes charging. So the blade will illuminate, and it'll be green and illuminated towards the top of the hilt, towards the top of the blade, showing a full charge. And as the battery drains, then the blade effect will lower towards the emitter, as well as it changes color. So that's always a nice handy thing, sort of a power level indicator.
Always remember, you're gonna pay for Smooth Jedi.
And I put the Rogue One hallway scene from when the Rebels encounter Darth Vader. Because why not? Okay, so let's go over the blade plug. So included is the Allen wrench. SaberForge provided this as well, so that was nice. So here we have our blade retention screw. You can just turn that. This will drop out. So a couple of things on here. I picked up this PCB, which is a Plector style, or the custom Saber shop style, not Plector, PCB that has NeoPixels embedded on it. I'll put a link in the description to where I acquired these. Great price, great color, very easy to install. Don't have to worry about putting together a NeoPixel strip, and really can't beat that. Blade plug, I had to extend, so 3D printed, just an extension, glued it together. So yeah, nice and easy. Let's see how far in we can see. I don't know if we can see in there. Yeah, there we go. There's a little bit of light. So we have the hilt side, TCS or Custom Saber Shop, hilt side PCB. That's embedded in there. It's about 2 inches down because the heat sink retention screw is right behind this plate. And so I use that existing screw, which is naturally hidden. So you have about a 2-inch blade depth, which is real nice for putting a 1-inch blade, NeoPixel blade in there. That'll be real secure, probably be safe to duel with. Light dueling. I would never go full dueling. But like I said, that, you know, nice amount of depth in here, solid piece of metal, all one piece. I can't imagine anything in here snapping or breaking. But, you know, light dueling, let's say that. So then to put this back on, real simple. I push down just slightly. I like to try to get the top of the blade plug flush with the top of the emitter. And then just lightly tighten. Don't over tighten. If you over tighten, it pushes the blade plug that way. And then you won't have a good...
There's always a bigger fish.
Right, you won't have a nice even shine through. So if you tighten that retention screw too much, it's going to push that way. Now we could resolve that issue by adding another retention screw on this side and then try to tighten them equally on both sides. But I didn't want to add another hole here, which is then visible on the top. On the bottom, you know, you have that retention screw, you have that, you have the button, you have the clip. So, you know, adding things down here can be hidden, but up here, I don't know. I opted against that. Okay. So then the last thing we'll talk about, so this can come out, just a larger sized Allen wrench. That is not holding the chassis in place. The chassis really is floating in a way. It's snug, but the chassis goes basically from here almost to this red button. So it ain't moving anywhere once this emitter's on. I'm sorry, once the pommel cap is on. So in the event that you do ever need to get in here, unscrew. You see how it kind of just falls out. You can pop it out, just a small little flick of the wrist. If you ever need to get to service, or maybe you want to connect the Proffie to your computer or access the SD card that's under the Proffie, you can pull this out. I wouldn't go that far. You know, I want to go farther than that. Behind here is the battery. And these wires are connecting up to buttons and recharge ports and NeoPixel PCB. So there's enough slack, but, you know, let's not overdo it. This is just some crafter's tape. Hobby Lobby sells it, Amazon sells it. Maybe pick yourself up a roll. Somewhere in here is the end. So, you know, you can just peel this tape off, throw it out, don't reuse it. And then the tape is what's holding the Proffie down. It's not glued. So you can, once the tape is off, you can lift this up. Again, don't go crazy pulling it out. It doesn't need to be pulled out. Just lift the top up. You'll be able to access the SD card. And with this lifted up, you'll be able to put in a USB adapter or USB cable into that port, and then connect that to your computer. That's a little bit more advanced. So if you're not familiar with how to do it, I would suggest not doing it. There really shouldn't be a need. The only time a need might arise, of course, is if you wanted to change the fonts that are on here. And in that case, then you should learn, you know, go to the Proffie website, the open source forum or Facebook group, a lot of resources for learning how to interact with this ProffieBoard. So then when putting it back in, I usually just get it close, and then I let the pommel cap push it the remainder of the way. Okay. So again, we see we have recharge kill key. And that's it. Once that's in, it disables. It is not a twistable kill key. We can look into a twistable. It would require changing out or either getting one that's already twistable or cutting a notch into this. And this way you could keep the kill key in and then just twist it. Not that there's a debate, but there are different opinions on whether twistable kill keys are a good thing or not. Some say that they could damage the internal recharge port, which has a notch. And if you don't have that groove done right, then you could damage the inside of the recharge port. Well, that's everything I wanted to show on this. To my client, thank you for allowing us to do this commission for you. This was a pleasure. Took a little while, just waiting on parts from SaberForge and then having to 3D print our own custom chassis, tapping and, or not tapping, but drilling the hole for the auxiliary button, getting everything planned out. This was a fun one, and who doesn't love this hilt in its simplicity? It's beautiful. All right, thank you again. Thanks for watching.